Hello everyone, I'm Space Monkey. Welcome in this first video on the project Hell Defender. And today I wanted to make this video so I can communicate more efficiently with the team. Also, one of the goals is to provide an archive. So for somebody who would like to join the project later, so they have all the information needed to get up to speed. Also, it will allow anybody, even from outside the team, to keep an eye on the project and maybe later join in, maybe just provide some feedback on how we do things, anything really. And hopefully this could bring some light on the project, which is always nice, obviously. So yesterday I knew I wanted to make a video today, but I didn't know what to say because I realized there's a lot I want to say. So I started this Trello board you see on the screen, and I will go through all the items quickly. So it's divided in big topics, big categories. The first category is Hell Defender, and I would like to introduce myself a little bit, explain what my role will be. I don't know how much details I can bring into this. I think you will see by yourself, mostly. I want to explain a little bit how I organize my time for the project. I think it's important for you to understand that, so we can interact efficiently also. I would like eventually to talk a little bit about everyone on the team, although there is the introduction channel on the Discord, so if you want to introduce yourself, feel free. If you want to know who the others are, you can check the channel, maybe we have posted there already, or you can just ask them directly. Maybe later on we could also have roles on the Discord, so you can say if you are an artist or not. Actually, that might be something we might want to do soon, but I don't know how to do it. I know Lilu wanted to be an admin, maybe that's something she could work on. I don't know, I don't want to pressure her into doing anything, but at the same time, yeah, she was the one coming to me about this, so maybe she'd be up for it, I don't know. So I want also to present you to introduce you the project timeline, which is probably the most important thing regarding the project right now, the most relevant one. Touch a little bit about defining roles for the team members. Right now it's a bit blurry, and that's totally normal, it's totally fine. I don't think there's a problem with that. Some people have come forth because they want to work on art or something. It's very good, thank you. But yeah, probably I'll have to go more in depth about roles. And the short-term plan, defining the next tasks. Actually, this subject will be the topic for the second video, which hopefully I will be able to shoot today. I don't know, we'll see. At least it's my goal. So this is the first topic, Hell Defender. Next, I would like also to touch on Infinite Realities, which is the name for the team. So what is the team? What are our goals? The Discord server, what's its purpose? What's my strategy for the whole team? So not only for the game, but for the team. I mean the structure we have or we don't have yet. Also, we talked a lot about this already, but I have a lot of ideas still on how I want to reward people who contribute, either with their time or maybe investments, although I don't think we need investments right now. But again, maybe we do, I don't know. Probably it's too soon, really. And I want to touch also on a few tips, and that's more personal tips on how to contribute, and that's more how I would do it if I were you. We can also discuss about all the legal stuff. There's a lot of legal stuff involved as soon as we start talking about money, because it's one of the goals. It's to make money with Hell Defender. So we need to think about copyrights and stuff, and there's a typo there. We can talk about it, we should talk about it. I don't know how soon we have to talk about it. Probably now is a bit too soon, at least in my opinion. And this is misplaced, this should go here. So, That's, I say, the most down-to-earth things. But then there are a lot of background to that that I also want to talk about at some point. A lot of stuff about management and related topics because it's a big passion of mine, and that's also probably the thing that will be the most relevant to my role in the team. Although I'm also an experienced programmer, so I will be in charge of most the programming. I also have some help from others, but we'll touch on that later when we start filling the Trellos and everything. Sometimes I will also talk about people, people that influence me a lot, inspire me also, nice people. So probably maybe you want to know things about myself also, and I have no problem talking about it. Especially my opinion on money, I think is it's very relevant to the rest of this project. It's a complicated subject, obviously. It's a bit political too, but if I prepare it well, I think I can talk about it. And it's important, I think, that you get my feeling about money and the role it has in our society, the role it has in the project as a consequence, because it's obviously an important thing. I don't think you can make a game without money, and I don't think anybody would spend a month working if there wasn't some money involved. So we will touch on that. I don't know when. We talked about it a little bit already, but I'll go in depth about that. And then again, related to me, I can talk about hobbies, business. I consider a hobby. That's weird. That's weird to say. I should rename this to passions. These are things that I'm really passionate about. Psychology, really passionate about that. Business, yeah, it's a passion. It's a passion. I really love not business in itself, but more how I can use it to make games. And maybe I don't know yet, but maybe at some point I'll even play some games. But it's not my priority now. Maybe one day I will feel bored, I will want to play a game, I will make some video, some live stream or anything. I don't know. We'll see about that. But these are most of the things I want to talk about eventually. And today I've selected a few ones. So let's check my list here. So yeah, I want to present the project timeline. This is a very important one. How I organize my time for the project. This will be discussed in the next video. This will be discussed. Strategy will be discussed as well. So we'll talk about infinite realities. You'll see the project timeline. I'll talk about the strategy for the project and for infinite realities. Lastly, we'll talk about how I want to organize my time for the project. So this is the presentation I made in front of potential investors. There was even some politics in there, and I didn't know if it was my place or not. Probably the project is a bit young for that. I mean, it's a jam game. But still, it was a very good experience. I met cool people. I saw other projects as well, and they still liked the idea in the end, so I think it's a win. Now they know about the project. What is a pitch? Hell Defender is a multiplayer cooperative VR wave shooter where players have to defend their fortress together against waves of demons in order to save the Earth. I tried to do a pitch. There is a nice GDC talk about how to pitch. I hope it's not a bad pitch. I tried my best at least. You know what the game is. It's a wave shooter, it's VR, it's cooperative, and you have a little bit of a background story as well. It's set up in hell, you have a fortress you have to defend against demons, and you have this kind of empowering setup that you have to save the Earth and everything. We will probably iterate on the pitch, but I mean, it's a decent starting point, in my opinion. At least it gets my point through. What it lacks is more USPs, unique selling points. But you'll see it's part of the project. It's part of the timeline to find those. My current view for the project divided into 3 categories. The art style, I like it to be colorful, low poly, and hellish. And I know not everybody agrees with that. Honestly, I would be alright changing that if it makes sense. The reason I chose this for the jump version is because it's very fast to produce, and it can be also beautiful if you do it well. The most important thing for me for the art side is that I want things that are fast to produce, really. So I don't mind changing the art style, but it has to be fast to produce. Not because I don't want to invest a lot of time in the game. I want to invest a lot of time in the game. I will probably work on the game for a year or so. But I probably need to make a video on that topic. In terms of project management, I don't want the project to be linear, all right? It will be iterative. That means we will have to redo a lot of the stuff. And I don't think it's very motivating for an artist to make a final asset with PBR materials and everything, and it looks super nice. And you have this demon with 3 eyes, and then we test the game, and suddenly 3 eyes, well, it's not very fun, so we scrap the entire thing, and the whole asset is gone like that. So I think it's the most important thing if you want to focus on art, is to really either you don't invest too much time and energy in making an asset because it will be replaced eventually. It's very likely that it will have to be redone entirely. So don't put too much of your heart in there, because it will break your heart if you have to throw it away. Be aware of that. But at the same time, I would understand if you want to be an artist and you want to make it right, you want to make it like AAA quality. I get that, and also eventually at the end of the project, we will need the highest visual quality possible. So all these things, we will need them. We just don't need them now because we are still developing the concept. Okay, and that's the most important thing I want to say in terms of project management today, because you will see in the timeline, I will get to it, that the art part normally I planned for it later in the project, and you guys want to work on it now, that's great, but we have to do it in a clever way. So that's art style. I talked a lot about this, but that's the most important thing again. Gameplay for now is very simple. I want to make it deeper, but for now it's just shooting weapons, teleporting around the map, and this is a very important one. I think teleporting around the map is kind of fun, and I want to really push on that, because it's not something that's so fun in most games. You just teleport small distances, and it's sometimes a bit tedious, but I want to really work on that. I think it's not so hard to make a map with a lot of teleporters and paths and things you really have to be strategic about, and also, yeah, I want to go deeper on teleporting around the map. Really, I think it could be very, very fun. I want the gameplay also to be based around working as a team. I want the game to be cooperative, and I want the gameplay to be really deep on that, as deep as possible at least, because also the game should be easy to play. If we want to sell the game to a VR arcade, then people will maybe play the game for 15 minutes and then never play it again. So in these 15 minutes, they need to be able to understand the game very fast and to play it and to have fun in those 15 minutes, okay? So the game has to be easy to play. But if we also, and that's the point, if we also aim for the big market, the game has to be deep, so it is to be hard to master. And these are different concerns, but they have to go together. And in terms of mood, that's something that is hard for me to explain why I want this. But I really want the game to, again, because I want the game to be easy to play in short play sessions, and because also it's something Jesse Shell said, that VR can frighten people. Sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable to have that headset on your head and you don't feel, sometimes you have the cable and you feel restrained by your movements. So I really want the mood to be kind of relaxing. So that's why I said I want it to be playful. I want people to feel at ease when playing the game, even when seeing the first image. I don't want them to feel overwhelmed. I want the game to be kind of relaxing. It's something you can enjoy in a casual way. And I want also the game to be hard, but it has also to be okay for a casual player to enjoy it. And that's I think, the thing that defines the mood the most. And that's why I say I want it to be playful. It has to scream gameplay, it's fun, play the game. And that's something I want to see in the art style also, if possible. And also having a slightly goofy feel to the game makes it also less serious, okay? That's something that for me is quite important. It's easier, I think, to get in the flow of the gameplay if you don't take the game too seriously. And I know some people, they want serious games with guns and blood and everything. But those people, they already have a lot of games to play. Those games, they demand a lot of realism, so it's a lot of money to invest in art. There's a lot of competition in that, and honestly, I don't even enjoy those games so much, so it's not the kind of game I want to work on, just as simply as that. And again, some humor would help also break the seriousness of it, because sure, it's demon, you are defending the earth and saving the earth, but at the same time it can be fun. I think of Dungeon Keeper, for example. It's demons, you are the bad guy, but the game is filled with humor. It's very fun. It's very. I like this mood. It's probably so. Here you are not the bad guy, you are the good guy, but still this mood that you had in Dungeon Keeper could be an inspiration for this one. Could be. Okay, next slide, otherwise I'll never finish. Infinite realities. So we started working together 2 years ago. First, it was just one jam, one Ludum Dare with Kevin, and each Ludum Dare, new people came in. At first, it was only small teams, and then later on, it was bigger teams. Last time we were 9, I think. So that's our history. But currently, legally, we have no legal form. So we are an association of freelancers, but also students and hobbyists. And that's who we are right now. That doesn't mean that's what we should be in the future. I think in the future we should be a company, but that's for the future. Right now we have no legal form, and that's totally fine for now. And our objectives, it's to participate in game jams. I don't know, I have no game jam in mind right now. We did the global game jam with Drenok and Talk, but I have no plans for the next game jam. We'll see in that time if we want to participate as a team, what we want to do. Solo projects are fun, and I think you should also have some solo projects. I think it's very formative to have full responsibility for delivering something. And yeah, I don't know, we'll see. So another objective is to develop long-term relationships at local and international scale. I think both are interesting, and I can understand how local people could feel a bit insecure about the international people, and I can understand also the international people feeling a bit insecure that we are a local group. But I want to do both. It sounds like a stretch, maybe. We'll see. That's my goal for now, at least. I also want to develop IPs. That's quite obvious. If you want to sell a game, it's an IP, which means also, and that's an important subject. So for now, the game is not developed enough for me to sell it, but eventually it will be. When you produce an asset, for example, that's the easiest one, I suppose. You are the author for this asset and you own the rights for this asset. And that means if a company or a group wants to use that asset in a game and sell the game, they need your authorization. That's as simple as that. So at some point, everybody who participates in the project, before we sell it, we will have to ask everybody to sign a paper saying they authorize the group, the company. I don't know what will be our legal form at that moment, but we will need authorization from everyone to use what they produced. I don't want to do it right now, but at some point we will need to do it. We cannot sell without that, so keep that in mind. And also a big objective is to grow as individuals and as a team. Learning is super important, I think, for anybody, for me as well. It's important to grow as individuals in your skills, in the skills you want to develop. Maybe as a human being too. I want to also learn as a human being and how to interact with you. That's why I'm making this video as well. And also as a team, working as a team is very hard, especially remotely like that. So even though part of the team is local, for now we made a lot of local productions, but for now I want to stay focused on my tasks, and I don't need a whole team around me to do that. So for now I will work remotely. You are free to gather if you think it's better, but me personally, for doing my tasks, which is managing the team and programming the multiplayer, and maybe fill up some Trellos, doing some videos. I don't need to be around a lot of people to do that. So for now, that's the way I want to do things. So who are we? So yeah, I told you about that. We participated in a lot of game jams, mostly Ludum Dare and Global Game Jam. Actually, only Ludum Dare and Global Game Jam. That's how we meet people locally also, and internationally. I mean, Tiger J's community was huge for me. I met a lot of people, made a lot of friends. Right now we have about 20 mini games. These are all on my itch page for now. Some of them are solo projects, some of them are not. So feel free to go there and check them if you are interested. And in total we have, again on my itch page and on Congregate also, more than 10,000 play sessions. And that's only for my accounts. I know some other people in the team also have games that have been played quite a lot. But that's only on my pages. And we are active on many platforms: Discord, Congregate, Itch, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, not directly. I'm not involved in Twitch directly, but some people on Twitch are friends. They played some of the games. And we have SideQuest also. I will touch more on SideQuest later. It's a very nice platform. I would consider it for now, it's like the itch.io for VR, and especially for Oculus products, Quest and Go. And this is our main source of views for VR games, I think. Better than each, I think, for VR. To make games, we need a lot of skills: administration, project management, network programming, game design, art, tech art, animation, sound, testing also. And for that, we need to specialize. So right now, I mean, this project, Hell Defender, is something I could do alone, but I cannot be a specialist in everything. We don't need specialists for the whole project also. For example, network programming will be very important in the beginning, but after that, when it's all set up, I think implementing new mechanics won't be too much of a challenge, I hope. Maybe that's a bit naive, we'll see, but yeah, it's the whole idea. Some specialists we will need for certain parts of the project and not for everything. And I was thinking also about, because we need specialists, and my least developed skill is clearly art and tech art. I thought about possible collaborations with other groups. There is a studio CVR, they are in Paris, they made High Seas, they are working on Terminus, they want to make a Kickstarter for Terminus. So if we can develop those skills inside the team, that's even better. But right now I don't have a lot of time to invest in that, because that's something we will need by the end of the project and not right now. So I cannot invest a lot of my time in that. I think some of you want to develop those skills, and I really encourage you to do so. But yeah, collaborations are also an option. If it's too much for us, we'll see. The milestones, I roughly estimated that we invested in time 5,000 euros, and it's considering only the hours, and considering that an hour is 25 euros. And it's not taking into account the work I did the last week. So it will grow, this amount will grow, and that's good, because that's what we want to show the potential clients also, with how much money we invested in the project. If you go to an investor and ask for money, they will ask also how much money you put in, and you are willing to put in. So it's important to have that number. Also, that's why if when we start doing tasks for the project, it's important to try at least to estimate how much time we put in the task, because it will help us estimate how much money we invested in the game, and that's a very important one. So in terms of milestones, the first one is to have a multiplayer prototype, because you don't just make a game and make it multiplayer at the end. That just doesn't work. So we need to start with that. After that, we need to make a vertical slice with kind of final graphics. If you don't know what a vertical slice is, I encourage you to research it. And when we have the vertical slice, then we can start looking for investors and stuff like that. And if we get the money, then we can start developing the core of the game. After that, there is some testing. If we release, after that, for sure, we will discover other bugs, so there is still some support. And if the game succeeds, we can also port it on other platforms. I think it's easy money. So the detailed timeline for the first two steps. For the multiplayer prototype, networking is a huge part, and I thought maybe a month would be necessary. Probably it will be shorter, but you never know. I'd rather plan it too large than too small. So networking about the whole month of April. Why not? I have to do other stuff at the same time, so it's definitely possible. The main gameplay loop, and this is where we will have to develop our USPs. I don't know what it will be yet. I will have to think about it, and this will be again the topic for the second video. Some testing at the end. It's important when you think you have a good game, just give it to players, see how they play it, and adapt. And some bug fixes at the end, because you always have them. That's for the multiplayer prototype. And I think, honestly, when we have the multiplayer prototype, by that time, the thing is, there is a bar owned by friends here in this city, Namur, Belgium. And the concept for their bar is to make board games available for all the customers. So that brings a certain mood to the bar. It's a bar and it's games. So, and I talked with the owner, and he would be okay to book a large room for us to allow people to play multiplayer games, VR games in that bar. That would be a good way to show the game, to meet the market, who are the customers. And I don't know exactly when I want to do it, but I think it's too good of an opportunity. It's a super good environment to try the game and to show the game. We can go pretty much anytime. Also, it would be possible, if the game is good enough, to ask for a little bit of money at that time already to the players. Probably not much, because most of the clients, they are students, they don't have a lot of money. But it would be a good exercise, I think. So I don't know if I want to go there after we have the multiplayer prototype. Probably I want some art in there as well, but we certainly don't need the final art to do that. So yeah, probably in the multiplayer prototype, it would be nice to have some art in there as well. It's the one thing I would be willing to change, and probably I think the way I would do it is to really mix it inside the gameplay development. Artists should be available for the game designers to produce some assets that would make the gameplay more interesting. And that doesn't mean we cannot work on art in itself, aesthetics, but I think it's important to start with gameplay, really. Gameplay first is very important. And then later on, when we get to that point, we have something playable that people enjoy, and that's the most part, that's the end goal for multiplayer prototype. For the multiplayer prototype is to have something that players enjoy. And now that I say that, I think it's very important that we go to that bar before deciding that the multiplayer prototype is done. And it's part of the testing. It's part of the testing part here. We need feedback from the players, and we need the players to enjoy the game before going any further, really. And after that, when we have a game that people enjoy, they want to play, they are willing to pay to play it, that would be a good achievement also for the multiplayer prototype. People are willing to pay to play it. When we have that, I have enough to go around, show the game to VR arcades, find investments, and really start working on the proper vertical slice with final graphics, with final gameplay, with all the features like achievements, leaderboards, all the things you would normally put in a game like this. We would be able to found them. And we still don't have money, but when we do, as a producer, I will have to find the best way to spend it, and I still don't know how I will have to spend it. Mostly it will be to cover the stuff that as a team we are not good enough at, or maybe stuff that nobody wants to do. But it's very hard for me to imagine right now, because I think we can probably do everything. And if we can do everything, and we don't need external help, then we can spend the money paying ourselves, which will be obviously the first expense all throughout the development of the game, is paying ourselves. So that's how much money I estimated, because I was presenting it to investors, so they wanted numbers. Again, that's calculated on a 25 euro per hour rate, and that's just estimations. And this is the estimation for the whole game, which tops to around 200,000 euros. Again, it's an estimation. I don't think it could be much cheaper than that. It could, of course, get much more expensive, but if we get the money, then we can think about how we would spend the extra money. But for now, if I have that money, I think I can make the game. And how we generate income? So yeah, we are making the game for Oculus Quest. There is the possibility to pitch the game to Oculus and to enter their program. It's something I will do when we have the player prototype. I will try at least. But also, Steam VR is a big market, and it's easier to enter the market using Steam. You don't have to pitch them the game, you can just publish it. So, depending on what the prototype is, we will have to choose one or the other, but I think both are completely fine. The only thing is that if we go for Steam VR, then we will have to port the game to HTC Vive. But I think it shouldn't be that hard. The only thing is that if we want to make it cross-platform, then we will have to buy all the headsets to be able to test the game on those platforms, which will be an expense. But I mean, if it's the right choice, I will make the investment. I don't mind if it's sound, if it's the right choice, we can do it. Kickstarter, I'm not a big user of Kickstarter. I know a lot of studios use it to fund their development. If you know more about it, I'm interested to hear your opinion. If you know how to start a Kickstarter campaign, feel free to get in touch. I don't know when we would do it, I don't know how we would do it, I don't know how much money we would ask, I don't know about the rewards we could give. Probably you would have to look at similar projects and see how they do it. The ones that succeed, the one that failed. So yeah, a lot of work. I'm not ready to do that now, because I don't think we need a lot of money now anyway. Again, when we have the multiplayer prototype and it's fun, then we can think about how to bring more money. And these are the VR arcades in Belgium. You have more, obviously. These are the ones that are the most famous. I know, not really. These are just examples. But once I have a multiplayer prototype, I can go to all those places, show the game, and try to find deals, maybe licensing. Maybe one will have a lot of money and will want exclusivity on it, and that might be an option. I wouldn't make that kind of choice without consulting with the team, because it's our game also. But yeah, I need to go out there and talk with these people, see where would be the better deal, the better win-win situation. That's the most important thing. If you find a good win-win situation, then of course you can find a deal. And I need to meet them. Those people, they need some content, and we are developing some content. So there is a possibility there for a deal. Okay, and if we release successfully, of course, there are a lot of ways we can generate extra income. But probably it's too soon to talk about it. And before releasing, yeah, I talked about the Oculus Start program, side quests, arcades, events. We are kind of lucky here in Belgium. We know some people who, who offer booths to indies. So we are in touch with those. We will get booths free of charge to show our game. I don't know what will come out of it, but I mean, it's a free booth, might as well take it. And so social networks, I think, are very important if you want people to know about the project. These are sales for comparable projects. Elven Assassin is a huge inspiration, but I don't want to clone Elven Assassin. I want to make the game much more deep, but it's clearly an inspiration, and I think that the public for Elven Assassin might be looking for a game similar to it, but with more depth, that is newer, maybe that looks nicer also. So really, that's the main, I think, public we are aiming for. And these people, they made a substantial amount of money. Sanctum is also, I think, a game that could compare in terms of experience. Those are big numbers. Let's not dream too much. Let's try to make a game that's fun, and we'll see how it goes from there. So yeah, and it was an exercise that they required me to do. It's an estimation, all right. If we want the game to pay for itself, we would need to sell around 13,000 copies. I don't think that's too huge of a number for the scope we are aiming for. In an optimistic scenario, it could bring a lot of money, I think. But who am I to say there is potential for a hit for that project? I mean, most of the hits, they were not aiming for it anyway, so I think we should just make the best we can and see how things go and take advantage of all the opportunities and yeah, do our best. And thanks for your attention. And it was the whole presentation I made for those people. All right. I think I said most of the things I wanted to say in this video. The only thing missing is how I want to organize my time personally on the project, and that's the... I started writing some rules for Infinite Realities for our, let's say, group culture, and the number one rule is that anybody is free to invest how much time they want in the project and to invest it how they want. Still, I have to define some rules for how one would contribute and how that person will be rewarded. It's complicated. I have ideas, but what's for certain is that I am a free man and I have all the right to organize my time the way I want to organize it on a personal level. And I have nothing yet in my personal Trello, but clearly make a video for the team is what I'm currently doing. Make the game multiplayer is something I have to do soon, and I cannot get too much distraction from that. Fill the Trello for gameplay, because we have those Trellos for the... I just created for Hell Defender the multiplayer part, the gameplay part, and the art part. I need to fill those, so at least if you want to work on the project, you know what you can do. Again, that will be the subject for the second video. That's something I have to do. So fill the Trello for gameplay, multiplayer, and art. That comes before. And that's pretty much everything I have to do right now. That's already a week or two worth of work, so I don't think I need to have more. So maybe some things will interrupt me. I hope not too much, especially when I'm making the multiplayer part. I will need a lot of focus, but that's my plan at least. And I will also fill some calendars. So today I'm making videos. Also, I'm filling up the Trellos. But I think starting tomorrow, I really want to work on multiplayer, and probably until the end of the week, because it needs to be done really. And maybe I will interrupt myself a little bit, but probably on Monday make more videos taking feedback into account. So I expect feedback obviously from this video. I will try to listen to it the best I can, and do another communication on Monday. And I will try to keep that kind of repartition, I think, of having between 1 and 2 videos a week explaining where the project is at, how you can contribute, what I'm doing, and the rest of the time, which is more than half of my time, hopefully, will be dedicated to really working on the game and executing tasks. Keep in mind I also have to take care of my personal stuff, and that's one thing I wanted to touch on. I'm working on the game during the week, 9 to 5 for certain, but sometimes I'm okay doing meetings in the evening for people living in the US, for example. I know some people also want to work on the weekend only, so if they have to wait a full week to, if they are working on the weekend and they have to wait for an answer on Monday to know how to do certain things, that's not very efficient. So for those people, I will try to stay available a little bit on the weekend also. But really, the one thing I can guarantee is during the week, 9 to 5. The rest is extra and is subject to cancellations and stuff like that, so keep it in mind. I will do my best, but don't get mad at me if I cannot be available in the weekend or after the working hours. It's just, I have to put boundaries, and these are mine. I think that's all I wanted to say. So thank you for watching. I hope it's not too long. I will try to edit it down so it's not too long and it's easy to watch. Also, if we want that YouTube magic to happen, feel free to like the video, subscribe, share the video, post some comments. Actually, do post some comments. All the feedback you have on that video, on the things I said today, please put them in the comment of this video, so the discussion is more concealed. Use the comment section. And yeah, thanks for watching. That's it. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope it was interesting, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.